the importance of mind and body health. You know, today with me, I have Phil Reynolds and Dr. Angelica Underwood, expert in human development and learning. And my goal with these interviews are to lead people through uncertain times, to give them hope, tools, ideas, and strategies on what to do during times of crisis. And with me today, like I said, I have Phil. And he has been, he spent more than 10 years working on campus ministry as a ministry leader and mentor. And then after, he went into personal training and nutrition coaching with a focus on creating and sustaining habits and a positive mental attitude. So thank you, Phil, for being here. And tell us, I mean, why do you think it's important for mind, body, and health? I mean, what's the importance about that?
All right. Well, thank you for having me on. Well, there's a huge importance to it that a lot of people don't take into account. They sometimes they separate the mind and the body, and we're really just one unit. As humans have adapted over time,
Mm-hmm.
from you know hundreds of thousands of years, really, we adapted and evolved to move, and the humans that passed on their genetics to have other offspring and that sort of thing, those are the ones that were able to find food, and finding food revolved around moving,
Mm-hmm.
hunting or gathering or whatever it is. And so that in turn, the humans that survived also adapted to have uh, mental like development as that was associated with the movement. And so what we now know from science, that movement allows you to balance your brain chemistry. It allows you to even boost your brain derived neurotropic factor, which helps make connections within the brain. And there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of different things that happen there. They're doing a lot of different studies with this up in Naperville. There's a doctor, Dr. Jay Rady, who
Mm-hmm.
wrote the book Spark, and they did a study where they were having like a zero period before class, and the kids were performing a lot better because it was like PE, like they,
Mm-hmm.
they had phased out PE, but they brought it back in as a voluntary thing that you could do before school started, and the kids that participated in that were performing a lot better.
Yeah, so movement is something that helps kids and even adults. So what do you recommend? Because right now a lot of people are in quarantine. I mean, what strategies or steps do you recommend that they do to help themselves? And if they have children, I mean, what are they going to do at home?
Sure. Well, there's I mean, there's a lot of different options for people. I mean, as far as home workout equipment, I use a Gorilla Bow, and you can find them on gorillabow.com. I don't have an affiliate link or anything like that, but they make a great product, and it's a very reasonably priced, and you could do just about every exercise known imaginable.
Mm-hmm.
There's body weight exercises you can do, like Mad Bars. It's a smartphone app for Android and iPhone. That's spelled MAD and then BARZ, and
Mm-hmm.
that's has a lot of free workouts. And but also it could be something simple like, I know we're under quarantine, but you may be able to walk around your neighborhood, or keep within that 6 foot distance.
Mm-hmm.
And you can, or use, if you have stairs in your home, you can use the stairs. Even if you're just walking up and down, you could, get a good workout doing that. And if you're going from zero, you know, time that you've worked out to getting into an exercise program, I mean, even just 15 minutes a day could make a dramatic difference. And so, but otherwise, if you've been working out and you're just trying to stay healthy, then you know what it feels like to have a good workout for you, whether you sweat
Mm-hmm.
or you feel like you're out of breath or that sort of thing. And so, doing a Gorilla Bow workout or a Mad Bars workout, you could find a way to get a good workout at home, no problem.
Right, yeah. And then if anybody's watching out there, I mean, if you have any ideas on mind body uh, exercise or activity that people can do, like post it below or ask any questions that Phil or myself can answer. We're trying to make it as engaging as possible because if you're home, then we want to bring some ideas. So if you could post a mind body activity that you know of, or like a Phil said, you can walk up and down the stairs. So, some of the things that I know for kids, there's one called Go Noodles, right?
Oh, okay.
Where it's movement for kids. So if parents are out there, Go Noodles is it's musical, dancing, body movement, and that really
Oh,
helps. We need to keep our kids active,
oh
and that's
yeah.
completely free too. What else do you suggest? I mean, I know that you're saying mind, body, and health. Are you looking at what we eat? Is there any recommendations that you can make?
For sure. I mean, definitely stay away from the refined carbs, like the white breads and things like that. That's going to help out a lot. But I mean, as far as if you're under quarantine and there's not a lot of food options around, I mean, I would just try to watch your portions. I mean, it could be really easy to get bored and go into the kitchen a lot, or I've talked with people about that, and I've been tempted myself, just to
Mhm.
go in and grab some food just out of boredom, and just know like that, that's something that could, over the next couple of weeks, that could really set you back if you have some goals for this year. And so definitely keep that in mind. Now, if you're just wanting some good recipe ideas, I mean, I would, stick to some good quality meats, and, you can do some, vegetables, salads, and those things like that. I
Mhm.
mean, sometimes I'll, if you're highly reactive to a lot of, or have a lot of different allergies, um, you can try, there's a lot of different things I can suggest that are kind of controversial, um, but I mean, also there's, I would also try some breath work. I'm a huge fan of Wim Hof.
Yeah.
He's got he's a Dutch guy. He's got a weird spelled name. It's just WIM and
Mhm.
then HOF. And he's got a lot of YouTube videos. He's got a smartphone app.
Mhm.
There's a great interview with him and Russell Brand where he talks about the benefits of Wim Hof breathing, and it boosts your immune system too, which is
Yes.
a great thing. And so we can sometimes go through life, just doing shallow breaths, especially if we're stressed. And
Mhm.
so it's important to just to if you're having a train of thought that's very negative or not productive, let that be a trigger for you to take some deep breaths.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, and I love breath work, and I think that during a time of uncertainty, when there's a lot of anxiety, if people are out there kind of worried of what's going to happen, well, we don't know what's going to happen, but we are with the hope that this is going to end. And meanwhile, I think that breath work is a really great tool that we could use to kind of relax the body
Hmm.
and then being able to really capture thoughts and worries and fears that we might have. And I know that you're also into the power of habit,
Hmm.
because I followed you in your group. Um, what can you say about those patterns that we kind of fall into? You know.
Well, sure. I mean, I think that the problem with people and their resolutions or wanting to start a new habit is that we start, with a huge habit, right? Like, New Year's comes around, we're like, I'm going to work out 6 days a week, and I'm going to kill it, and and I'm going to eat nothing but rabbit food, and I'm going to I'm going to do like tons of cardio, and then like after a week of that, they hate their life, and they're like, this is not working out for me. And so
Right.
it would be better to, um, there's one book, Mini Habits, where it's along the same philosophy as that I have, is just that you if you started off just doing a little bit each day, and
Mm-hmm.
then made that a habit, then built on it the next month, like make that a habit for the month. Like even if it's just one push-up a day, which one push-up a day sounds like it's not going to produce any results, which
Right.
don't which but it does produce a result, and the result is forming that habit that you're going to do it. And you, especially if you trigger it around a specific time, like whenever I have my coffee in the morning, I want to do my one push-up a day or whatever it is, and then
Hmm.
just build from there. Atomic Habits book is also great. He talks a lot about triggers and the ways that we can remind ourselves to do our habits. And so, having a time where you set aside to do that, and oftentimes it's best to do it in the morning because that's when we have the most willpower.
Right.
We know now from studies that willpower is kind of like a gas tank that it can run out throughout the day, and so it's best to
Hmm.
do those decisions in the morning. And then once they become a habit, they don't take willpower anymore. They're just part of your lifestyle.
Right. So I think that that decision of saying, you know what, like you said, scheduling a time to do exercises and really setting it like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And if you build on it, like you mentioned, I think it's important because a lot of people say, okay, I'm going to do it every day for a week for half an hour. And then that half an hour is like, really? I don't think I'm going to do half an hour.
Right.
But like if you said, I'm going to do one push up or five or 10, like my son yesterday, while we were cooking and we were in the kitchen, he was making us do exercises, all of us.
Uh-huh.
Like, come on, you've been sitting in that chair all day. So
Uh-huh.
here we are doing exercises with him from the 3-year-old to all of us. And I think if we make it fun, because right now everybody's home, most of the people are home, they
Yeah,
should be home. And if they get the whole family, it could be entertaining, don't you think? I
for
mean,
sure.
what can you do as a family, right? Any
Right.
suggestions?
I mean, I mean, even if you did some of the mad bars like I mentioned earlier, or if you're like, you could do something simple. I've got a post up that I can link to the comments here, but and it's just running in place, or you could do some punches and stuff, shadow boxing, and kicks, and do like a little Taibo, and that's fun, and as long as there's no furniture in the way, or
Right.
you're safe distance from your family members, that you're not going to kick them or whatever. But that would be something fun to do together, or put on some music, dance together. There's a
Uh-huh.
lot of different things that you can do to just lighten up and but also get some good exercise.
Hmm. Yeah, so if you're out there in your home, Phil is talking about having fun, enjoying yourself, and really putting, like, begin to create a habit because he talks about even if you start small and then build upon it. So if you're watching this right now, what we're asking is that we're trying to help people during uncertain times and helping them understand the importance of mind, body, and health. um, we would like you to share it with other friends and families because Phil has given some little ideas on what you can do at home with your family, like dancing. He was just talking about how about if you turn on music and just dance together so that you have fun, you're moving the body, and you're creating the chemistry, right? That will
Mhm.
be you're going to create happy chemistry because a lot of people are trying to find happiness out of their body, but the happiness starts inside. What do you have to say about that?
Well, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of connections to that happiness too. I mean, I was I was watching a movie the other day. It was called Troop Zero, and it's based in Georgia. Like probably close to Savannah or something like that, with the way
Mhm.
the trees looked. But it was a fictional town, and these two girls were like angry at each other, or at least one of them was angry at the other one. And so she goes running off into the distance, and the other one starts chasing after her. And then when she finally catches up to her, they kind of fall down, and then they're like laughing and like, they're over it. And I was thinking like how interesting that was, because that the running probably has something to do with why they're like they didn't feel the need to be angry at each other anymore. And it's just like your whole brain chemistry would have changed just in that
Mhm.
instant moment of the high intensity of the running. And so I was just like, that's really, that's kind of life, is because it's like sometimes you just get to, after you had a good workout, you just feel so much better. And the things that bothered you before, you're like, why'd that even bother me? And
Uh-huh.
but sometimes if we get cooped up in the house, then it's like we're on edge and like everything bothers us. And
Oh
so,
yeah.
so it can be very important to get that exercise, just so you can have some good, relations with the people that are in your home.
Exactly.
Um, but yeah, there's a lot of connections there, but also just, watching your thoughts, sometimes,
Hmm.
we can let the inner dialogue that, you know, you know play on repeat, and sometimes it's a situation that happened the day before, the earlier in the day, and you're just like, you know rehashing it over and over in your mind from an instance that just happened once. And
Uh-huh.
so, sometimes you just need to recognize, well, is that fair to that person that I keep
Right. And
reliving that moment?
yeah, and sometimes it's distorted memory.
Well, for
You
sure.
know, like in our head, this memory is so real and so true, and yet
Hmm.
it's distorted. It's not even half true, you know?
Yeah,
And then we hang on to it, and it makes our mind and even our body, because when you're mad, your body's showing it, right? You're like
for
down,
sure.
your whole body's just showing, and people know when you're upset or something. But when there's happiness or joy or whatever, it's like you're up, and then you're like kind of lifting people up with you. So I don't know if you've ever heard of laughing yoga.
Laughing yoga. That sounds like my kind of yoga.
I love it. I mean, I've taken it in the past. My mom used to have somebody go to the house and they would do laughing yoga. And it was so easy. It was like just like, like ha 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 ha. And then once you start doing that, everybody starts laughing for real
Yeah,
because it sounds funny. So
yeah.
I think people at home, you need to find body movement, something that brings happiness and joy. Can you share anything else with people out there that are probably trying to find ideas on what to do related to mind, body, and health?
I mean, well, sure. I mean,
Mhm.
even kind of tying into what you were saying before, it was, you know, hearing a bunch of people laugh, that can cause you to laugh, and then, but
Mhm.
even just changing your facial expressions, like, if you're just like, if you're just like
Right.
trying to smile, it's like it the connection between your face and the
Uh-huh.
connection between your mind is such that, like, if you're just smiling, it's like you're going to be getting into a mood that's more appropriate for that facial expression,
Mhm.
unless you're just hell bent on having having whatever thought that's upsetting you run through your head, you know. And otherwise, it's like, let me just think about the good things, and it could come down to like gratitude, or, well, what do I have to be grateful for? And sometimes it's like, well, I'm grateful for that, we're at home, and we're safe. And or even if someone is, that happens to be sick in your home,
Mhm.
maybe they're responding, their immune system is responding better than other people have. And there's a lot of different things about that. And and also being aware of what the news is trying to, the emotions it's trying to evoke. Some of it is sensationalized for the purpose of bringing you back every day to,
Mhm.
tune in again. And so, just think about it like, is this serving me? Is this really, I mean, I have kind of all there is I need to know. I know it's probably going to end around maybe Easter, or they're going to reevaluate from there. And so in the meantime, like, the best thing you can do is to just like be happy in the moment. Like, there's no suffering in the present is not going to make your future any better,
Right.
you
Right.
know?
Yeah, you really need to distract the mind, if you're anxious or worried, distract the mind, turn on some music like Phil said a while ago, and
Yeah.
maybe dance with a family and
Uh-huh.
have fun, right? And one of the other things that I saw that we were recommending for kids, because we're writing curriculum for kids at
Okay.
home, and we even said, they can get canned food and kind of use them as weights. So
Uh-huh.
if you don't have weights, then find something at home that you can use as an equipment. There's so
For
many
sure.
things that we can do at home. If you're worried about, I don't have equipment, I don't know what to do, what other things do you think they can use as an equipment?
Mhm.
I don't know. And if you know out
Yeah, well, I
there,
mean, like, I mean, you could have a gallon of water, and there's a lot of different things you could, or there are books or different things, and it doesn't have to be that much. Even if you're just, you know, we used to do these like arm rotations as kids, like where your arms are like going like this, around like that.
I,
I mean, those things
mhm,
are. I mean, you could try doing that. If you have bad shoulders or something like that, be careful, listen to your body. But otherwise, yeah, you could try putting like a book in your hand and doing those
mhm,
movements, or just in it. It doesn't need to be fast. Like whenever you're manipulating weight for the first time, you just want to go slow and see how your body feels, and um, as opposed to doing something a fast movement. That's one way to get hurt. But if you're just doing something slow, you're experimenting, you're feeling it out, then you can have a good time and a good workout.
right,
Oftentimes what I tell people, whether they're lifting a dumbbell or whatever, is you definitely want to do a slow progression where and your muscles get a lot better workout. It's time over attention and that sort of thing. So
mhm,
um, but yeah, there's a lot of different things you can lift around the house. You can get creative with it, and
mhm,
but I mean, Amazon's still running. And there's a lot you can get resistance bands off of Amazon.
right,
I mean, like I said, the Gorilla is a great piece of equipment. I mean, you'll use it forever if you just do one exercise a day, and then you can do
right,
two exercises a day, and then you can kind of build from there. But
mhm,
as opposed to like letting it be like a treadmill that gathers dust in your house. You know what I mean?
right. Well, right now that you're saying treadmill, there's this man on YouTube. He put oil on the floor, and he was holding onto the counter, and then
Yeah.
he was walking with the
Uh-huh.
oil.
Yeah.
So you guys have to have fun, enjoy
Yeah.
yourself, but do exercises and really take care of your health, especially during this time. And I think one of the things that we should do, Phil, I don't know what your perspective is, but I think that right now we have an opportunity to really plan and maybe even rewrite our little story. Like, what do we want to do different when things pick up and change? Don't you think?
For
Don't you
sure.
think this is a time to let that best version of ourselves come out?
I
What
mean,
do you
for
think?
sure. I think this was a great opportunity to kind of see what our preparedness was and see what we have in our control, and
Mhm,
whether it's food provisions or or whatever kind of plans, like there's different things that we can think about that would make us feel safer and make our
mhm,
families feel safer, and there's a lot of different things we could take into consideration. I think as bad as the coronavirus has been for some people, we could have been hit by something a lot worse, and I feel really grateful for that. I mean, you know, you see these movies where they're like zombie viruses or something going through the world. I don't think there's the zombie virus is a real thing that's possible, but I mean, hey, maybe it could be, but this like it could have been something like that, and it's like, and it wasn't. It was something that was very, and it is pretty terrible for some people that
mhm.
and there has even been younger people that have been in great shape that have been severely affected by it. But
Right.
like, what is our preparedness for these sorts of things, and also just in the meantime try to make the best of this, whether it's family time or telling those that are your loved ones like how much you love them and appreciate them, and if there's things you need to talk about, it'd be good to talk about those things.
Mhm.
I feel like everybody's kind of doing a lot of soul searching during this time.
Absolutely. I think this is the time. So, if you're out there and you're watching this, what we're asking is that you really pay attention to your mind and body and health. Go ahead and watch it from the beginning because Phil gave some ideas on what you can do differently.
Yeah.
And what we want to do is empower people through this conversation so that you could be safe, so that you can find a community and really connect and begin to maybe ask questions or share your opinion on what people can do differently. So if you can comment below, comment what exercises are you doing at home that are very, very simple that other people can follow. That would really, we would really appreciate that you do that you comment below. What exercise or activity can people do from home that is fun for either kids or the adults? And where can people find you, Phil? How can they connect with you?
Well, I've got a Facebook group. Um, it's called Power Habits for Real Estate Agents. But I mean, if you're a professional, you can get a lot out of it. I've kind of shifted some of the focus, but it's we're going to be discussing exercise, nutrition, mindfulness, breath work. There's a lot of different things that can help you to be more productive, have more energy, and have a lot.
Hmm.
These are just things that use for sure, but
Right. I think you cut a little bit. I hope we didn't lose you. But while we get Phil back, my goal is to really empower people through these interviews. And Phil has shared an abundance of information, like little tips about what you can do for the mind and body and health. And really, the goal is for us to help you with an idea or an activity that you can do at home. So, what we're asking is for you to share one activity that you're doing, an exercise, or maybe some healthy food or a healthy recipe. Why don't you share it? And we would like you to share this video so that we can help and we can reach other people that are looking for ideas. Um, you can connect with Phil and he will be able to he's going to put the link below, and he's going to be able to help you um, connect with him. If you want to continue connecting with me, I'm Dr. Angelica Underwood, and you can follow me in all my social medias, YouTube, anywhere. But most importantly, I would like to invite you to the Master Manifestor Lab, where I help people turn their dreams to reality. So um, go ahead and look for us there. Um, Phil lost connection, but he will put his link below so that you can connect with him soon. So we really want to thank you so much for joining us. Comment below, ask questions, and share this video so that we can touch more lives with ideas and strategies on how to improve their mind and body and health. You guys have an amazing day. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.